Hi guys, this is Wave 618. It's the 9th of May 2018 and it's just gone 10 a.m. BST. Alright, so we're going to do an update on Bitcoin this morning. Now, if you watched my last video, you'll know that I did suggest that you put forward any particular coin that you'd like me to analyze so that I could see which is the most popular. So you can see top left here, counting all the results. Tron was the clear winner, but a close second was Electra, and then in joint third there was Neo and Icon. So these are the coins that I'll look to analyze for you, starting with Tron. Now, there's an issue with Electra in that there's no real chart that I can use to really analyze it. There are some platforms like Cryptopia and CoinMarketCap that give some charting information, but there's nothing on TradingView, and it really makes it difficult for me to analyze because obviously, you know from watching my videos, I like to use Fibonacci time, Fibonacci EMAs, I like to use Elliott wave analysis, and I can't really find a platform that I can do that on. If you can think of a way around that, then let me know, but otherwise I'm going to find it very difficult to do a video on Electra. It does have some wonderful fundamentals, it's a great coin, and it's a low market cap, which means it's able to do some quite violent price swings both up and down. So yeah, it has a lot of potential. Yeah, Tron was the winner, the outright winner, so certainly I'll be focusing on that. If you can come up with a suggestion on how I can analyze ECA, then please let me know. I generally use TradingView for all my charting, and unfortunately there's no chart available there. And then Neo and Icon also, I can do analysis on them. Again, very good coins. But alright, so as I say, we're going to focus on Bitcoin in this video. So some interesting things happening. We're at a very pivotal point right now. There are changes since my last videos, so we need to update on those. So first of all, we've been talking about Bitcoin since making this move up to $20,000, making a large retracement, with this being wave W, X not quite finishing, and then we're going to see a Y wave. What I had suggested is that this X pattern was going to turn out to be a running flat, finishing around this level, around 11.5 to 12K, and then finishing with a Y wave. And yeah, of this running flat, we're in this final wave, which is the wave C. The C is labeled here, and in a flat pattern, wave C is always 5 waves. So I had suggested in my last video that I was looking at this as being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to have to adjust this slightly because, as you can see, price has actually come out of this channel that I was drawing. So this channel was based on joining the highs of wave 1 and wave 3, creating a parallel line and extrapolating that from where wave 2 finished, and but that line was eventually broken, and it did act as a very significant trend line because price had been bouncing off it. If we go on the hourly chart, it's a bit more obvious. So price had broke through, then it tested it here, came down, retested it again, so it's a very significant line, and then it's come down further. Now I'm going to have to explain, if it's still to be bullish to 11.5k, then there is another count that I can use, and it's a count that I'm looking at, and I'm looking to trade it, to be honest, with a tight stop. So the way I'm looking at it now, previously I was saying wave 3 finished here, and then wave 4 was a triangle finishing here. Clearly, if wave 5 started here, then that idea has been invalidated because prices come below that. Yeah. So clearly, this was not the start of wave 5. In which case, I'm no longer calling this a triangle. I know I've been told that other analysts are saying that this is still a triangle, and it broke out on wave D. If we just label the triangle A, B, C, I was looking at it perhaps being like that, A, B, C, D, E. Obviously, this can't be the end now because it came down lower. But there's other analysts apparently saying that the triangle can finish here and break out on wave D and not necessarily make a wave E. I disagree with that, to be honest. I mean, I'm quite strict with my rules when it comes to patterns. If you can't be strict with your rules, then what's the point in having rules? That's the way I look at it. It's very hard to trade something if you can't trade it with conviction, knowing that you can't break the rules. So I wouldn't call this a triangle anymore. I'm not going to say that the triangle finished here and then broke out with wave D. I've been looking for an alternative explanation. My alternative explanation is that wave 4, in fact, is finishing here, and this is in fact a running flat ABC with A being here, B being here, C being here. So in a running flat we see a 3-3-5 pattern, so I make this to be a double zigzag down, a WXY, so I see 3 legs down, and then this is a clear 3-legged pattern up, making a B wave, and then C is actually an ending diagonal, and you can see I've drawn the converging wedge lines here to show that ending diagonal. And if I'm to label that, I would put wave 1 being the extended wave here, wave 2, wave 3, which is shorter than wave 1 but it's longer than wave 5, so that's fine. And then wave 4 clearly overlaps with wave 1, which is fine because it's a diagonal pattern. And then wave 5 looks like it's finished the wedge pattern off here. So this is our ending diagonal wedge. So this would be described as a running flat because A has come down to here, B has gone up higher than the preceding wave 3, and C has not come down as far as wave A. Now obviously if this price does come down below wave A, then that would invalidate this whole move, and it would start to look a lot more bearish, and certainly this trade would not be worth considering. But at present, and this could change whilst I'm making the video, but at present I'm looking to trade this, with this being an ending diagonal. It all looks to be set up quite nicely, and you know that I like to use Fibonacci time, so if we just plot that on, in fact, just go on the 4 hourly to plot that. Okay, so if this is our wave A, and wave A finished here, look at where wave B finished. If you extend that from wave A end, wave B finishes at the 6.85 Fibonacci ratio to the point, and then if we do a Fibonacci ratio between waves A and wave C, so that's wave A, extend that from where wave C starts, and there's a 2.618 Fib ratio ending around here, and you can see price did finish just around this level. It's one candlestick out, but you've got to be careful with Fibonacci time because the shorter the time frame, the better. Because as you can imagine, when you're using 4 hourly candles, price may have formed a low at the end of this candle rather than at the beginning. So there's a 4 hour window where there is room for error. For example, if price found a low at the end of this candle and at the beginning of this candle, then it would change your Fibonacci scale slightly. So the shorter time frames are actually better for measuring it. So you have to give it, basically what I'm saying is you have to give it a bit of leeway. You won't always find it hit to the very point. But yeah, you can see here it's one candle out. I'm quite happy with that. So it's another reason to suggest that this may well have formed a bottom here. Just zooming in on the 15 minutes to have a further look at this diagonal pattern. So I've described this as being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down to make a wave 1. This looks like an expanded flat with an A, B, C, and then it looks like we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make our final wave 5 down. And yeah, it looks like it's finished, but we do need to see we need to see volume come in before we can be convinced that, because at the moment it's looking quite corrective, these waves are quite overlappy, it's not showing any real impulse wave yet, so we can't be convinced just yet that this is the bottom. I expect when this wedge breaks out, you will see volume come in, and that will give us the volume that we need. So depending on how you like to trade, personally I'm happy to put a trade in before this breaks out in anticipation of it breaking out. Other people like to wait for that confirmation, which is quite wise in itself. It reduces the probability of it going lower. But you've got to be quick to act, because once it breaks this line, it can break it quite quickly, and that will reduce your risk reward. As I say, the reward risk ratio is pretty good, to be honest, because you can place a tight stop, and I'm looking at price going to around 11.5k. So there is a very good risk reward ratio there. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to break down. I wouldn't be calling this a triangle anymore. Triangles don't break out on wave Ds, in my opinion. If it does, I'll be looking at an alternative pattern rather than a triangle. And yeah, I would label this as a ending diagonal. You know, some people might call it a falling wedge. I wouldn't call it that. A falling wedge is a corrective pattern. I see this as an impulse wave. Yeah, an ending diagonal is an impulse wave. It's an impulse wave or a motive wave, which means that yeah, it's a motive wave. So it's made up of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. If it was to be a falling wedge, then the only way I could see it being that is if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2 pattern. So this is a 1, 2, 1, 2. But that would suggest that wave 4 finished here, and I can't really see that, because that would mean wave 4 is very small compared to the rest of the waves. So I don't really buy into that. So this is what my count is at the moment. I'm looking at this being a running flat A, B, C. Obviously, we'll find out very, very shortly whether this is going to be the case or not, because if it comes down further, certainly below this level, 8.8, I don't think it would really be looking so bullish anymore. You can, with these diagonal patterns, get what they call an overthrow, which means that price does come out of the wedge slightly to catch everyone out before then going back up. You do often see that, catches a lot of people out. But certainly price coming down below this level, 8.6, certainly we have to stop looking at the bullish scenario. But yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. As I say, I'll be looking to do videos on a few other coins. Tron will be the next one to do. And if you have any suggestions on how to do analysis on Electra, then please let me know. Yeah, exciting times ahead. Let's see how this plays out. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Take care.